The perfectionism lie. Why good enough is the secret to finishing everything. Perfectionism is the lie that looks like high standards, but secretly kills momentum. It's procrastination with a halo. You feel principled while you stall. If you keep starting and never shipping, this is why. Today, I'll give you a practical good enough system that finishes work faster without lowering quality. We'll expose the hidden shame mechanism, use 3 levers that neutralize perfectionism in minutes, and I'll show you the secret step that makes shipping painless. This isn't theory, it's a workflow you can use today. Let's dismantle the lie first so the fix actually sticks. The problem: how perfectionism keeps you stuck. Perfectionism feels virtuous because it promises safety. If I get it flawless, no one can judge me. The thing most people miss is that this promise comes with a silent price. You delay action until conditions are impossible to meet. Your brain labels the task as threatening, and suddenly making progress feels dangerous. So you wait, you tweak, you research just a bit more. And the window where you felt motivated quietly closes. This clicked for me when I noticed my best work never started with perfect. It started with movement. The all-or-nothing trap blocks that movement. If it can't be excellent, you tell yourself it shouldn't exist yet. That binary mindset turns a simple first step into a referendum on your identity. Now every microchoice feels heavy, which creates decision fatigue. You spend energy deciding which font, which tool, which angle, until your brain taps out and defaults to doing nothing. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. The longer you keep decisions open, the heavier they get. A quick choice becomes a mental tab that taxes you all day. Those micro-delays compound. You rewrite the title 3 times, you reorganize a folder, you move tasks to tomorrow. Each tiny pause looks harmless, but together they stall momentum so completely that the project feels stale before it's even alive. Stale projects are easy to abandon because they no longer feel exciting. They feel contaminated by previous false starts. Now here's where most people mess up. They think the fix is lowering standards. It is. You need to change the way done is defined in the first hour. When done means perfect, your nervous system stays on high alert. When done means fit for purpose for this stage, your brain can finally start. The reason this works is simple. Your threat system calms when the stakes are sized correctly. Your work quality doesn't drop, your starting cost does. Let me show you the real trap under the surface: future self-bargaining. You delay, promising that a more rested, inspired version of you will crush it later. That sounds reasonable, but it trains your brain to pair action with delay. You accidentally reward an action with the relief of not starting. So next time, your brain pushes for the same relief. You've built a loop. Task appears, anxiety spikes, you postpone, anxiety drops, loop strengthens. The task didn't get harder, the relief got more rewarding. Another hidden piece is identity risk. If it's not perfect, it says something about me. That belief turns feedback into a threat, so you keep things private. Private drafts feel safe, but safety without feedback means the goalposts move forever. You can't win a game that never ends. Your effort increases, but your finish rate doesn't. That gap creates quiet shame, which your brain tries to avoid by raising the standard again. Now the bar is higher and the fear is bigger. Before we continue, you need to understand the cost of endless prep. Overplanning feels like progress, but it creates distance from action. The more detailed your plan, the more painful it feels to deviate, so you cling to the plan even when reality changes. That rigidity slows you down and makes course correcting feel like failure instead of just, adjusting. If you remember nothing else, remember this: planning should reduce friction to start, not add rules you're scared to break. Once you nail this, everything else clicks. Progress creates clarity, not the other way around. Action gives you data, what works, what doesn't, where the real constraints are. Waiting for clarity before acting keeps you stuck in abstract problems that only action can solve. A common mistake I see is trying to solve quality questions at the idea stage. You can't critique a thing you haven't built. Build a small version, then improve it. Now the practical piece. Micro-delays are where perfectionism lives. If you can shave those, you win. Use constraints that limit decision time up front, like pick any decent option in 60 seconds. Not the best option, a decent one. The reason this works is that most early choices are reversible. You can change fonts, headlines, slide orders later, but you can't edit a blank page. Shipping later doesn't require earlier perfection, it requires earlier material. Don't do what I did the first time. I tried to brute force willpower. I told myself, just try harder. That only deepened the fatigue and made me feel broken when I slipped. Effort without a system makes shame louder. Shame makes avoidance easier. Avoidance makes the project heavier. Heavier projects need more motivation. And round you go. The game changer nobody talks about is redefining quality by stage. Early quality is about clarity and completeness, not polish. Mid-stage quality is about coherence and alignment. Late-stage quality is finish and finesse. When you confuse those, you'll try to polish before you've clarified, which is like decorating a house you haven't built. It looks busy. It doesn't move you forward. So no, the fix isn't lower standards. It's standards with sequencing. First, get something that works. Then, make it better. Then, make it beautiful. Now we can make the fix stick. Why your current approach fails? Shame loop. So you try harder. You double the prep, promise longer hours, add more steps. It feels responsible, but here's the thing most people miss. Effort without changed rules feeds shame. The more you push inside the same frame, the more evidence you collect that you're still not enough. That's the shame performance spiral. Shame spikes, motivation dips, so you plan more to feel safe, which creates more distance from action, which fuels more shame. It's a loop, not a lack of grit. Let me show you exactly how it traps you. You miss a self-imposed deadline. Instead of asking, was the scope realistic? You ask, what's wrong with me? That's a shift from behavior to identity. Guilt says, I did something I don't like. Shame says, I am something I don't like. Guilt invites learning. Shame triggers avoidance. When avoidance shows up, procrastination feels soothing. Your amygdala reads, don't start, as relief, and relief is a powerful teacher. Now here's where most people mess up. They respond to shame with overplanning. You create a 12-tab spreadsheet to dodge the feeling of being judged. The plan looks impressive, but every added layer pushes you further from the work. Overplanning isn't neutral, it raises the price of deviation. When reality doesn't match the blueprint, you stall because changing the plan feels like failure. Meanwhile, zero work has shipped. Feedback fear makes it worse. The longer something stays private, the more it mutates into a forever project. Drafts become sacred objects you're scared to expose. You tell yourself you're protecting quality, but you're actually avoiding data. Without feedback, your brain fills the vacuum with imagined criticism, and imagined criticism is limitless. The result? You polish the same paragraph for days, while the core argument never gets tested. Then comes the finish line sprint. You delay, and when the deadline finally terrifies you into motion, you pull an all-nighter. It works once, so your brain pairs panic with performance. That's an expensive association. Each project now needs cortisol to start. You're training a system that burns you out and narrows your creative range. Even if you deliver, the cost shows up later as dread. Dread kills future starts. Let's talk hidden costs because they don't show on your to-do list. While you perfect one thing, opportunities pass. A competitor ships a draftier version and earns the learning you postponed. Your reputation stagnates, not because you lack talent, but because people can't see work you never ship. The market rewards visible value, not invisible effort. That gap breeds more shame, and shame sells you the same bad solution. Try harder at the wrong thing. Before we continue, you need to understand why try harder keeps failing. Your nervous system is optimizing for safety, not output. When perfect equals safe, starting feels dangerous. More effort escalates the perceived threat. So you build armor, rules, research, contingency plans. That armor is heavy. Heavy armor is slow. Slow feels scary. Scary triggers more armor. See the loop. The thing most people miss is the timing. Shame is loudest at the beginning, quietest in motion. But your current approach tries to silence shame before you move. That's backwards. You don't think your way into courage, you act your way into proof. Tiny proof softens shame because it gives your brain evidence. I can handle this. Overplanning gives your brain nothing to update. Okay, so what breaks the loop? Not pep talks, not harsher deadlines. You need a different frame that makes early action feel safe enough to start. That means redefining quality by stage and shrinking the decision surface so you can gather feedback without identity risk. It's the difference between is this perfect and does this work for this purpose right now? A quick micro story. Last week, a client had a white paper stuck for 3 months. She kept researching stakeholders to avoid shipping a messy draft. We set a 40-minute time box and a single target, 3 ugly bullet points per section, no citations. She emailed that draft to one colleague. Feedback came back the same day with 2 useful holes to fill. The next morning, she wrote with energy she hadn't felt in weeks. The shift: she stopped trying to earn safety with polish and earned it with data. If you remember nothing else from this section, remember this: shame thrives in silence and vagueness. Clear, small actions with quick feedback starve it. Over-planning is silence. Private polishing is silence. Forever projects are silence. You don't need more effort. You need structure that forces motion before your threat system hijacks the day. So if effort isn't the answer, what is? A different frame. We'll use the good enough principle to right-size risk, unlock momentum, and protect quality without feeding the loop you're stuck in. The good enough principle, the frame shift. Good enough isn't sloppy, it's fit for purpose. Think of it like this: every task has a job to do at each stage. Early on, the job is to clarify direction and surface unknowns. Mid-stage, the job is to make it coherent and aligned. Late stage, the job is to polish. Good enough means meeting the job of the current stage, nothing more, nothing less. When you match quality to purpose, you lower threat without lowering standards. Most people confuse ideal outcome with minimum viable outcome. The ideal is your North Star. The minimum viable outcome is the next navigational step. You need both. The mistake is trying to build the North Star into step one. Minimum viable outcome answers: what's the smallest version that proves this works? It's not junk, it's proof. Once proof exists, improving it is 10x easier because you're iterating, not inventing under pressure. Here's where the 80-20 rule helps. Roughly 80% of the value comes from 20% of the decisions. Early, hunt those vital few. The insight, the core structure, the one concept that makes the rest obvious. If you spend your best hours on the marginal 80%, the kerning, the micro-wording, the shading, you'll feel busy and end up stuck. Prioritize the 20% that unlocks everything else, then let the remaining 80% rise with iteration. Ship small, ship often isn't an apology, it's a status move. Pros don't hoard drafts, they run cycles. Frequent shipping gives you 3 advantages: fast feedback, risk spread across iterations, and compounding learning. Each small release converts unknowns into knowns. That changes your brain state from threat to curiosity. The reason this works is that progress, not perfection, regulates your nervous system. Output calms the amygdala better than overthinking. Now you might be thinking, won't good enough hurt my reputation? The thing most people miss is that visible usefulness builds reputation faster than invisible polish. When you ship an internal draft that's clear and honest about its state, you invite collaboration and accelerate improvement. When you wait for perfect, you defer trust building. Transparency plus iteration reads as competence. Let me show you exactly how good enough turns into great. First pass, get it working. That means the core argument, the skeleton storyboard, the functional prototype. Second pass, make it coherent, clean up logic, remove contradictions, tighten flow. Third pass, make it crisp, clarity of language, visual alignment, pacing. Fourth pass if needed, make it beautiful, tone, finesse, micro details. Greatness arrives because each pass has a single job. You're stacking quality in sequence, not trying to solve everything at once. A quick micro story. A team I coached kept skipping client demos because it needs one more feature. We reframed to fit-for-purpose demo, show the core loop, narrate the gaps. First demo surfaced one killer request that invalidated 2 weeks of planned polish. They cut scope, shipped sooner, and won the renewal. The difference wasn't talent, it was declaring good enough for demo instead of nearly perfect for launch. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Predefine your quality bands. For example, internal B means clear enough to discuss, ugly is allowed. External B+ means solid, coherent, minor rough edges. Final A means polished enough to represent you publicly. By labeling bands up front, you decouple identity from drafts. You know what good enough means for this moment, so you stop arguing with yourself mid-task. What about errors? Fit for purpose reduces risk because it shrinks blast radius. You're not releasing a final press release, you're sharing a B outline to one reviewer. You've right-sized the stakes. That lets you gather data early when changes are cheap. Later, when stakes are higher, you raise standards deliberately. Standards aren't lower, they're scheduled. This clicked for me when I realized that perfect was just unshipped plus anxiety. Good enough was shipped plus iteration. If you remember nothing else, remember this: the only thing perfect and great share is iteration. Great just has more passes. So practically, how do you operate this frame in the moment? Ask 3 questions before you start. What's the minimum viable outcome for this stage? Which 20% matters most right now? What quality band am I targeting? Then start. When you feel the urge to polish, check if the current pass's job is polish. If not, park it. You'll get to it on the pass that owns it. Once you work this way, relief replaces dread. You move, you learn, you refine. Good enough isn't settling, it's sequencing. And once you sequence standards to purpose, you finally get to finish and then make it great. The 3 levers that neutralize perfectionism. Before we build the system, you need the 3 levers that make it work: scope, standards, and stakes. Pull these in the right order, and perfectionism loses oxygen fast. Start with scope. The thing most people miss is that done expands silently while you work. If you don't shrink what done means today, your brain tries to finish the whole mountain. Scope is simply deciding the smallest slice that moves the project forward, not the perfect slice, the definitive next increment. Ask, what's the minimum that proves progress? 1 slide that nails the message. 1 figure that shows the trend. 1 page that frames the argument. When scope is tiny, your nervous system sees a finish line, not an abyss. Why this matters? Large scope multiplies decisions and triggers decision fatigue. Small scope compresses choices into a narrow lane, which lowers friction to start. Practically, write a 1-line scope statement for today, draft 3 bullet points for the intro, or record a 60-second voice memo of the thesis. If you can't say it in 1 line, it's not scoped. Cut it in half until you can. Once you have scope, set standards. Not aspirational standards, acceptable quality bands for this pass. Remember our quality-based age idea? Standards are how you lock it in. Define the band in clear, permissive language. Internal B, clear enough to discuss ugly aloud. External B+, coherent, minor roughness okay. Final A, polished and audience ready. The reason this works is it replaces the vague, make it good with a usable target. Your brain stops negotiating because the rules are pre-written. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Pre-write 2 acceptable imperfections you'll allow at this stage. For example, typos allowed, examples rough. Or placeholder charts, final colors later. When you name allowed flaws, you turn them from threats into planned features. That labeling blunts the perfectionist impulse before it hijacks your attention. Now stakes. Perfectionism inflates perceived risk at the worst time, the beginning. Your job is to lower stakes to start, then raise them later for polish. Early stage. Share internally with 1 reviewer, not a committee. Tag it clearly. Early draft, seeking clarity only. Later stage. Widen the audience and raise the quality band. This sequencing keeps your amygdala calm when you need momentum and recruits accountability when it helps. A quick example to connect all 3, you need a proposal. Scope. Outline with 3 sections and 1 sentence per section. Standards. Internal B, incomplete citations allowed. Stakes. Send to 1 teammate by 3 p.m. for structural feedback only. That combo moves you into action, gets you data, and avoids the identity hit of a full public release too soon. Now here's where most people mess up. They pull just 1 lever and wonder why they stall. Small scope with high standards still freezes you. Low stakes with vague scope leads to wandering. Clear standards with huge scope is still a cliff. The levers work because they interact. Small scope plus permissive standards plus low stakes equals movement. After movement, you can safely ratchet standards and stakes up in later passes. Use the S3 check as a quick heuristic before any task: scope, standards, stakes. Say them out loud in under 30 seconds. If you can't, the task is too fuzzy, tighten scope. Loosen standards, lower stakes, then start. And because your brain loves rituals, make S3 your pre-flight. Same words, same rhythm every time. The consistency trains your nervous system to expect motion, not negotiation. Let me give you a micro story. A designer I coached kept refining concepts for days. We ran S3. Scope, 3 thumbnail sketches only. Standards, B sketches, uneven typography allowed. Stakes, share in Slack to 1 product lead by noon. 90 minutes later, she had 3 clear directions and 1 got greenlit. The difference wasn't talent, it was yanking all 3 levers at once. One caution, don't confuse low stakes with no accountability. Low stakes means safe audience and narrow criteria, not secrecy forever. Put a shipping trigger on the stakes lever. Send by time, upload draft, book review. The trigger flips intention into action. Without it, perfectionism sneaks back through, I'll share when it's better. If you remember nothing else from this section, remember this: perfectionism thrives on undefined today. S3 defines today. Shrink the scope, name the standards, right-size the stakes. Once you do, starting feels sane, finishing feels possible, and iteration finally has room to work. Next, we'll build your good enough system around these levers so you can run this automatically. The good enough system, step by step. Let's turn S3 into a workflow you can run today. 5 steps. Fast, simple, repeatable. Step 1, define today's minimum commits, your MC1. This is the smallest measurable output that proves movement. Write it like a shipping line, not a wish. Outline with 5 bullets. Record a 90-second audio draft. 3 sketches. Make it binary, either it exists or it doesn't. Why this works: your brain locks onto concrete finish lines. Vague intentions invite negotiation. MC1 ends the debate before it starts. To set a clean MC1, combine it with S3 in a sentence. Today I'll produce X scope at quality band Y standards and share with Z by time T stakes. You're defining done, acceptable, and shipped in one breath. If it doesn't fit in one sentence, it's too big. Cut it until it fits. Step 2, pre-write acceptable imperfections. List 2 to 4 flaws you'll allow in this pass. Typos allowed. Placeholder examples. Rough numbers. Uneven spacing. The thing most people miss is that imperfection denial is what pulls you back into polishing. When you name flaws in advance, they stop being alarms. They're features of the current pass. Put them right under your MC1 so you see them while you work. Here's a quick script you can steal. Good enough for this pass means clear, not pretty. Allowed, list. Not allowed, 1 or 2 fatal errors. Keep the not allowed list tiny. Think factual inaccuracies or missing core steps. Everything else can wait. Step 3, time box with a no extend rule. Pick a block that matches the task's cognitive load, 25, 45, or 60 minutes. Set a visible timer. Say out loud, this block does not extend. Why the no extend rule matters: perfectionism feeds on just 5 more minutes. Time creep silently converts scope creep into reality. Limit the box and you force choices. Constraints unlock focus because they kill endless branching.